Welcome. Another great day to be together and to investigate the deeper aspects of life. Post-nasal drip. Woo. Today, here in the United States, it's the federal holiday of Juneteenth. Yay! Freedom is one of the key aspects of this holiday. So I thought today, before I go, remember, I'm in Arizona tomorrow and through Sunday. You may be free from these morning classes, and then it'll be interesting to see what you do with that freedom. But I might be here. Isn't that kind of the essence of freedom? Maybe, maybe not. I don't have to decide right now. But anyhow, we're looking at this idea of freedom. I've been thinking quite a bit about it because when I think of freedom, and I think if I were totally free, then what comes to mind is I would do whatever I want, and the world would go just as I want it to. And that'd be a great thing for me. I don't know if you would agree, although I could make you agree, but then you don't have freedom. And according to the Buddhist point of view, if any part of the universe is not free, then we're not free either. In fact, one of the big aspects of freedom, as we consider it, is if we're doing whatever we want, how are we stopping others from doing what they want? Okay. And the Bhagavad Gita, of course, has another take on what freedom actually can mean. And in the Gita, there are different words that you can translate as freedom. For example, moksha is a very common one, although perhaps a more accurate translation would be liberation. Subtle difference, but a difference. Nirvana can also mean freedom. And actually, that's the word that's used in today's verses to represent this idea of freedom. So if we look at verses 271 and 272, Krishna describes how he views freedom. And this is interesting because in another part of the Gita, Krishna says basically, I could do whatever I want, but I don't, because then how would it affect everything in the universe? For example, he says, I could go on a vacation, do nothing, but then what would happen to all these beings if I withdrew my energy from the universe? Everything would collapse. So even though I don't have to do anything, yet I still do. So here's Krishna's take on freedom in chapter 2. The one who casts away every desire acts free from longing, free from thoughts of mine, free from ego. This is the one who attains peace. This is the divine state, having gained it, Arjuna. One is not deluded, fixed there even at the hour of death, one gains freedom. So this in a way is opposite to what I knee-jerk think of as freedom. It's not doing whatever your little self wants. My ego would just eat. I'd walk the streets of Cleveland and eat all day, and then come back and sleep and watch television. What a life. But actually, I think that would get boring pretty fast. I wouldn't be interacting with you, for example, and I would miss that. Oh, here, the one who is free from the chains of the ego. Getting rid of the chains of the body is a great first step. But if we have chains on the mind or the heart, then one still is not free. And we do put chains on others put chains on us. This is so in this world. But we also have to be mindful of how we're putting chains on ourselves. I mean, if we see others that are not free, remember, if we see others in chains, then we're doing that to ourselves as well. How are we chaining ourselves with our ego, how we want to appear to the world? This is something to consider, because when we're free from ego, says Krishna, and in this sense, ego is not just the sense of being an individual being, because we're embodied individually, um, and this is a precious embodiment, but the idea that we can do whatever we want and it affects nobody else, that's ego in a way, because that's taking our sense of separateness to the next level. Even if I do things that aren't hurting others, if I'm hurting myself, I am hurting others. If I'm enslaving myself in any way or accepting the enslavement that others are trying to put on me, I'm contributing to the lack of freedom of others as well. Something to consider today in the meditation. I encourage you to reflect, what does it mean to be free? What would my life be like if I were free? And also, can I wish that same freedom for others? So I'm going to go do a balance pose that we've been doing this whole time. You are free to choose your own way of doing it or to do something else altogether. What will you do with that freedom? Switch. Let us contemplate freedom, real freedom. What does that mean to us? What would our lives look like if we were truly free? For example, if when somebody tried to make me mad, I was free to choose to be mad or not to be mad, to be peaceful instead. Huh. So contemplate what freedom would look like in your life, and can you wholeheartedly extend that wish for freedom to the entire world? We'll see for 5 minutes. Welcome back. I gave myself permission to be free to cough. I wonder what your idea of freedom looks like. Feel free to share in the comments. Today's practice is dedicated to all those who have been enslaved in any way or are still enslaved. May you be inspired to seek, find, and grant freedom on this wonderful Juneteenth. I will see you when I see you. And until then, may you be free.